Hi, my name is Lisa Lambert, and I am here today to audition for you, my audience, for the Skill Path Trainer 1099 contract position. So I am preparing for you a mock interview, a mock seminar. So what I'm going to talk with my audience here today as I set up some dining room chairs to let you know that the topic will be communication and personality. So here we go. Hi, and welcome to Skill Path Seminar Training. This is a 2-day workshop, and I'm so glad that you're here today. It was very rainy getting here, but the show must go on. So, managers who are here, I know you have some questions. The other people who are here who are not in management positions but work for these managers, you have questions about how do you deal with situations that come up while at work where you have a question or you have a situation and you want to find the best tactful way to deal with it, but you're not sure if you're going to tread into a territory where you would be uncomfortable. So this seminar will help you learn how to gracefully and tactfully handle situations at work, communicating with your coworkers, communicating with superiors, communicating with people who are on your team, and those who you supervise. So you can be the most assertive person possible without being aggressive, without being passive, and without being passive-aggressive. So assertive is always the winner. That's the way to go. Now, we are human beings in the animal kingdom. We follow our instincts, which are fight or flight. When we are feeling fear, we tend to react, and we have to learn how to respond. So in order to learn how to respond, we have to practice, and we have to think. And when we're reacting, we're not necessarily thinking. We are using our emotions to get out of a situation that is fearful for us. And so when we're dealing with people at work, there may be a situation where we feel fear and we get anxious, and we have to learn how to calm our chemicals, our chemistry in our body, so that we can have good working relationships and good communication with other people. What I like to talk about is not just reactions, but our responses to things. We learn responses, and responses must be respectful, back and forth. So now sometimes situations at work can escalate and can become volatile. And we, as managers, should and can learn through this training, 2-day seminar, on how to reduce the emotions, allow emotions, but reduce the reaction to our emotions, and understand our emotions in a situation to handle the situation in a mature and professional way. What type of roadblocks get in our way? Well, yelling gets in our way, stomping our feet gets in the way, turning and moving to another room gets in our way. Those are all reactions that can not always solve the problem. Sometimes walking away is a good thing to do because we have to get into a situation or a place where we feel like we are safe to speak. Or we may not be able to speak because we are upset about something that happened, or passionate about something. So other roadblocks being defensive, interrupting, not allowing respect to flow in our work community. And these roadblocks have to be noticed and accepted and owned in order for management managers to move forward and get better at dealing with situations while at work. We are adults. We're all adults. But as we know, sometimes people don't act like adults at work, and nor at home sometimes. And we need to focus on professionalism and maturity in order to deal with situations. Now, sometimes that means taking the high road, and sometimes that means we need to push ourselves to use what we've learned in our workshops and make them smoothly occur at work, or as smoothly as possible. We need to learn how to tell the truth at work without fear, and in doing so, being the assertive person that we can be. That means addressing the fear, what we are afraid of discussing, whether it is sexual harassment or someone who is coming in late, and repeatedly, chronic tardiness, or someone who is trying to sabotage. It could be someone who thinks they're doing the right thing, but they're on the wrong track. And we have to find ways to discuss that without putting the other person on the defensive. So one of the most important things that I've learned in life and in work, I've worked for education, I've worked for government, public government, I have worked in the private sector. I've worked in big box retail, and I've worked in a tiny boutique. I've had great experiences at work. Many of the places I have stepped foot to learn through my career. I have been in management, and one of the things that I know that helps me is using all those situations and rethinking how things work best and staying in that box of professionalism and maturity. But I've been on the other side, where I have felt something deeply, and I wanted to address it and either didn't know how or expressed it incorrectly. And the point that I want to make about dealing with other people and communicating with other people is we always have to let the person know that they are valued. They may be tardy, they may be driving us nuts, but we need to, as managers, let them know that we want them to improve because it will improve the corporation or the business. And how are they valuable? Why do you want them to be there? Why is it important that they show up and do the job? Are they pushing work onto other people? Are they making other people frustrated? Are they not meeting their deadlines? Are they doing something that is making the product or the service look worse? And if they are, how they are valued, how can they improve the product or improve the service and overall improving the corporation or the business? You could say to someone that you count on them. They're very intelligent and they are very informed on policy and procedure. And therefore, when they're not at their desk, they're not there to help someone who may come to their desk looking for them for advice. You may say to someone how you appreciate the passion that they have for the business, or that you appreciate the way that they think and solve problems. And when they're not there, you can't count on them. And you wish they were there to help you solve those problems. So you're complimenting, but you're letting the employee know what the difficulty is, and they will then feel less defensive, more empowered, and be a resource for your company. You can lay out your expectations for the employee, saying, I know it's difficult for you to get here in the morning. I understand that you're a night owl. My expectations, though, are for you to be here, and I would like you to be here approximately 10 minutes early. That gives you time to get your coffee, to wake yourself up, get thinking, improve your verbal skills because you're getting awake, and be the best worker you can be. And those are my expectations for the morning. I also expect you to return from lunch on time because we have a lot of things to do. And what you can do after lunch is stop in and see me, and we'll go over our routines for the afternoon. That will keep everyone on track and keep the business flowing. You need to make sure that these conversations are private. They're not to be, employees are not to be scolded in front of other employees. They are not to be talked about, gossiped about. Personnel issues should be kept in the room and between you and your employee. Make them feel important. Show respect. You need to find a common goal with the employee. Maybe there's a reason why the employee is not coming in on time. Maybe the employee is looking for other work, ready to move on. Have a discussion. Find out what's happening. They may talk a little bit about their family. Maybe they're having difficulty getting their child off for daycare in the morning. Talk with them about it. Be a good listener. Listening. Listening is huge. Listening is a skill. It takes patience. It takes training and practice. You have to open up a conversation, talk, listen again. If you're still not on the same page, ask to listen again. Let me hear what you have to say again. I want to make sure that I follow what the issue is so we can then find a solution together. It's very important that there's not a heated argument, and if it gets to that point, to take a break, take a breather, but come back to it after lunch, after 10 minutes, maybe the next day, but not to let it stew and get bigger in someone's thoughts. Keep track of the successes you have with people. Talk about those successes. Talk about the importance of the conversation. Let the person know that you enjoyed listening to them, or at least maybe not enjoyed, but that you understand better what the situation is. Try not to let the employee go to the excuse box. Try to help the employee go to the solution box. There are tips on how to make sure that you can get your point across clearly. You can document things. You can ask for someone to repeat what you're saying. You can write a contract. You have to feel out the person to see if they are feeling threatened. If they're feeling threatened, you may not want to do a contract, but you may want to softly and professionally ask for their understanding of what's happening. You may need to wait, put a contract in later if it escalates. So I talked in the beginning about personalities. There are 4 ways to communicate: aggressive, passive-aggressive, passive, and assertive. Assertive being the most powerful and useful tool. The thing about assertiveness is some personality types haven't been able to handle being assertive because they're either very shy and afraid to go into that box of conflict. So those things take practice, and most people who are shy will be avoiders. And we're going to split up in the group. I'm going to talk to you managers about your techniques, your style, and we're going to look at your strengths and your needs improvement areas so that you can work toward being in the middle, which is that assertive personality. Not someone who goes off the cuff, not somebody who withdraws and walks away, but somebody who knows how to use your words, calm your emotions, and solve a problem.